Well, one of Israel's most beloved and decorated athletes is giving back to his country during this challenging time, traveling nationwide to meet with communities heavily impacted by the war both in the north and the south for a 4-day intensive. Peter Paltchik, the two-time Olympic medalist, will meet with Israelis in need to provide them with inspiration, resilience, and tools to overcome adversity using his background and experience as a professional athlete. Peter, thank you so much for joining us today in studio. It's such an honor to have you here. To start, what inspired you to do this initiative?
So first of all, thank you, Emily. And what inspired me, it's what I've been through this year. Is besides everything happened, you know, we don't want to talk about that, of course, but I got through a lot of harassments, threat messages. I was probably the most threatened athlete in the whole Israeli delegation, and you know, it's all the protectors around me. Outside of the Olympic Village, inside the Olympic Village, it was very hard. Before that, even before that, there was a lot of anti-Semitic organizations, big propaganda against me to try to ban me from the Olympic Games. So besides all that as well, I had three big injuries. I had very, very difficult professional year. And after all that, I could able to win and to bring an Olympic first for the delegation, Olympic medal. And since then, every day I see people in the streets, and everyone calls me hero. You are a hero. You brought us a light through all the darkness, and you know, etc., etc. And I don't feel like that. I feel the real heroes is the families that sacrificed, and the soldiers, our beloved soldiers that fighting in both borders, and the children's that been through hell.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to give them back. I wanted to give them this light that they talk about through all this darkness and dark days we've been through.
Are there any particular experiences that you've had whether in your meetings recently with soldiers or with refugees in the north or the south from the war? Any particular experiences that have really stood out for you?
You know, I had a project with recently, like 2-3 days ago, the president calls, and you must.
Of course.
Yeah, so we was there in president's house in Jerusalem, and I made a lecture. I make a lecture through all the families and the childrens that came from the north and the south, people that are not in their homes right now. And there was one father that stood right in front of me with 7 of his kids, and he said, we ran away from Kiryat Shmone to Eilat. Now we run away from Eilat, and we did all the way from there to Bet Anasi, to
President's house, of course, yep.
And it was all worth it because of you. And every minute, every shekel we put it in, and we just wanted to say to you, thank you for everything you stood up to and everything you represent. And I was just overwhelmed. I started to cry. He started to cry. We hugged, you know, 2 grown men crying and hugging. And it was one of the most inspiring for me and one of the most emotional moments. And that moment also gave me this motivation to do such a project, such an important project like that.
When it comes to the Paltchik Foundation, how can people learn more about what you're doing? How can they support it? Can you speak a little bit more about that?
Yes. First of all, we had a tour to Washington, to the IEC summit, like 3-4 weeks ago. And I did a lecture for Israeli advocacy. We met there, and there's several organizations that I'm involved with these subjects, but everywhere I go, I'm mentioning my foundation because I'm raising money. I'm the first donor. I'm donating 5% for all my business activities to this foundation, and through that I'm giving an example and to bring more supporters, more partners for this foundation. And I'm sure that from my foundation, we will see the next Olympic medalists and the next, heroes, we can say, that will represent Israeli in our most difficult times.
Well, let's hope so.
I really believe in it.
Appreciate all the work that you're doing and have done. You are absolutely a hero, just as the other people in the state of Israel fighting for our existence. Thank you for all you've done, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Emily.